Good afternoon, everyone. So, as we are continuing with the wrist and hand complex, today we will talk about the extrinsic finger flexor. So, what are the muscles which will help to complete the movement into the finger flexion and into the finger movements? So, there are some muscles. There are some muscles of fingers and thumb having the attachment above the wrist only. So they will attach above the wrist also. So now next thing, that there are two muscles which will contributing to the finger flexions, that are flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. So first is flexor digitorum superficialis. So what is the function of the flexor digitorum superficialis? So it will flex the interphalangeal joint as well as the metacarpophalangeal joint. Second, it will also produce the more torque in compare with the flexor digitorum profundus. Third thing, it is this flexor digitorum superficialis muscle will also process the few joints, and it will superficial in compare with the flexor digitorum superficialis in compare with the flexor digitorum profundus at the MCP joint. Second, flexor digitorum superficialis muscle having a greater momentum into the metacarpophalangeal joint. Now we will talk about the flexor digitorum profundus. So this muscle will flex. This function of this muscle is flexion of the MCP joint, proximal and distal interphalangeal joint into the more active position. Second, so during the finger flexion with the wrist flexion. So during the finger flexion and wrist flexion, so both flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus, both muscles will work together during the finger flexion and with the wrist flexion position. And at the proximal phalanx, at the proximal of the PIP joint, flexor digitorum profundus will emerge through the split in FDS, flexor digitorum superficialis, which is known as the campus chiasma, and flexor digitorum superficialis attached to the base of the middle phalanxes. So at the proximal phalanx, this flexor digitorum profundus will emerge into the split in. It will emerge with the flexor digitorum superficialis. So what happened into the proximal PIP joint, at the PIP joint, this flexor digitorum profundus muscle will emerges with the split of the flexor digitorum superficialis muscle, which is known as the campus chiasma. Second, this flexor digitorum superficialis muscle which attach with the base of the middle phalanx, which will attach with the base of the middle phalanx. Now both flexor digitorum superficialis and the profundus muscle, which are dependent on the wrist position for optimal length tension relationship. So the length tension relationship of these two muscles, which is dependent on the wrist position. If wrist is in a flexion position or wrist is in an extension position or any deviated position. Second thing, counterbalance of the extensor torque in the wrist, which is provided by the extensor carpi radialis brevis muscle or sometimes by extensor digitorum communis muscle. So last we will talking about only flexors muscles. So now next we will talk about the extensor muscles. So whatever the torque will be produced into the wrist extension position or to counterbalance the extensor's torque, to counterbalance the extensor into the extensor torque at the wrist joint with so this extensor torque will be provided by the extensor carpi radialis brevis muscle as well as with the extensor digitorum communis muscle. So what are the mechanism of the finger flexors? So finger flexion is done by the two muscles, that is flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus, which is depend on the stabilization of the wrist musculature. So second, it is intact flexor gliding mechanism. So this both muscles will work on the both muscles work which is depend on the wrist musculature, matlab wrist muscles, and second also the gliding mechanism of the flexors which is intact. So this is the mechanism of the finger flexion. Second, the gliding mechanism which is consist of the gliding mechanism will include the flexor reticula, second bursa, and the third is digital tendon sheath. So into the gliding mechanism, these three things will be included, like flexor reticula, second is bursa, and third is tendon sheath. Now next we will talk about the this gliding mechanism. So the fibrous retinacular structures which will include the proximal flexor retinaculum, second is transverse carpal ligament, and extensor retinaculum. So this fibrous retinacular structures will tethers the long flexor tendon into the hand, and it will prevent the bowstring of the tendon. So these fibrous retinacular structures which will tether with the long flexor tendon muscles, which are the long flexor muscles situated into the wrist joint. It will tether by the flexor retinacular structures. Now this structure will prevent the bowstring of the tendons of the long tendon of the long flexor muscles. Now second, bursa and tendon sheath, which will facilitate the friction movement and friction of the bursa and the tendon sheath of bursa and the tendon sheath. This both will facilitate the friction free excursion of the tendon of the retinaculum on the retinaculum. So what is the function of the bursa and tendon sheath? So they will facilitate the friction free movement of the tendon onto the retinacular fibrous structures. So as you know, flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus tendons, which will crosses the wrist joint, as well as it will pass beneath the proximal flexor retinaculum, and through the carpal tunnel they will through the carpal tunnel the ulna, this tendon will be passed from the tunnel. Now flexor pollicis longus muscle which will also pass through the carpal tunnel with the flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus muscle, and then the radial bursa will encase it. So there are some annular pulleys which are situated into the hand side. So annular mainly this flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus muscle tendon of these muscles which will flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus, both muscles tendon of each finger which will pass through the fibroseous tunnel. So this all tendon of the all fingers which will pass through the fibroseous tunnel, which will also comprises 5 transversely oriented annular pulleys and 3 obliquely oriented cruciate pulleys, which are situated here. So annular pulleys like which is like this, they will situated like this, and cruciate pulleys 3 oblique, which is situated obliquely. So annular pulley having 5, like first A1, which is at the head of the MC, like here A1 pulley is situated here, A1 at the head of the metacarpal joint. Second pulley is A2, which is volar midshaft of the proximal phalanx, here. Third is distal most part of the proximal phalanx, which is situated distal side. A4 is centrally of the middle phalanx. A4 it is situated here, and A5 is base of the distal phalanx. A5 at the base of the distal phalanx. So this A1 to A5 buri which are situated here, and it is situated like transversely. Now second is C1, C2 and C1, C2 which are situated here. C1, C2, C3, cruciate buri. So about the pulleys and about the pulleys we will talk into the next lecture.